857 Video Game Podcast.
Ah, yes. Whether it's a beer, a shot, or even a glass of wine, grab your favorite beverage and welcome to the Level 857 Video Game Podcast. We are your hosts, Alg857.
The 23rd Stallion, Stikz,
Turbo 857.
And your boy BigChoco.
And we have two very special guests on the podcast in the house tonight.
Wait, what'd you say? You said two?
Yeah.
Two at a time.
Two very special guests in the house tonight. We have the producer and host of Electric Playground, the longest running program in the world for gaming and geek news, commentary, and reviews, here with his ex-former partner in crime, ex-co-host of Electric Playground, notably Reviews on the Run, who also happens to be the CEO and president of the Intellivision Entertainment.
Amico.
It's a long, a lot of stuff.
Yes.
A lot of stuff.
You memorized all that, man?
Together, for the first time, being interviewed on a show in probably about 15 years, I'm guessing. Please welcome the living legends, Tommy, Tallarico, and Victor Lou.
Okay, bro.
All right, look at that intro. Look at that intro right there.
That was good.
How's that for an intro, Vic?
That is, I feel very old.
Now, are we live now?
We are
guys?
live, man.
I'm looking for the link.
Finally, right?
I saw us. Yeah, I saw
Yeah, we
us.
are
I think
live.
we're live, right? Yeah.
Live. There it is.
Yeah,
We're live
there it
now.
is.
There it is.
Yes.
Hey,
Very
there's me.
cool.
Hi.
Wow.
There it is.
Technology's amazing.
All right.
Absolutely.
Are you guys going to be able to live stream right out of the Intellivision Amico? Is that
No.
something you're working on? No. Okay. I guess it's a couch co-op console, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So here we are. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Awesome,
Chad is
yeah.
coming up in here. All right.
Yes.
Awesome. Welcome
So how you
everybody
guys
to the
doing?
chat.
Great. Fantastic.
Great.
I just
Yeah.
Hey Vic, I noticed that that you're not wearing a customized level 8
Oh.
They
Yeah.
made
It was great
they
to see you
made
guys.
just for me.
Love
Did
it.
you get one?
So take it easy, everyone.
Clearly, they like me better. I had the shirt.
I think what it is mail's not coming from the U.S. to Canada right now.
That's exactly
That's what had happened.
Yep.
Now, hold on there. Speaking of shirts, I'm looking at. I'm loving all of the Amico
Oh,
shirts.
yes,
You got
yes,
Big
yes.
Chocolate there on the right, but I'm seeing fake Drake.
Hey, buddy. I got it right here, man.
I
got it right here.
Drake. I see Tetris. What's this Tetris?
That's my
Is
game,
this
man.
an
That's my
announcement?
game.
Is Tetris coming to the Amico, or was this part of the reveal?
I hope so.
Okay, there.
It's on every platform. If it's not on Intellivision Amico, something has gone wrong. It's got to be there.
Right? Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
That's too funny. That's too funny.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you guys on.
Hell yeah.
We usually start with like games we're playing, but we changed up the whole format today because
Yes.
we got something special.
Yes.
Yes.
So what are we
Very
doing
nice.
today, guys?
We're going to start off by talking about the different presentations of the different companies.
So 2020 has been a rough year, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
Things have been a
Yeah.
little different this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So we want to get some reviews from you guys, Judgment Day Fashion and Reviews on the Run. We want to get some reviews on what's been
Can
going
we do
on.
this though? Tommy's the president of a console company. what
Slight
can you
bias.
say?
Oh, did we tell you this is
Everybody
uncut?
sucks.
This
and
is-
I buy the Intellivision. What can you say?
No.
This is all uncut, y'all. So
Yes.
you can
Unbiased,
say what-
unbiased.
unbiased, uncut, unfiltered.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want.
I think you've been fired today, then, Tommy. You're gonna be unbiased, so you can't you can't just pump up the Intellivision. No, but I am curious actually. What did you think of what PlayStation 5 showed off and Xbox Series X has shown off so far?
Yeah, I obviously I watched them both, and it was interesting that I mean the my initial, again, we're going to all keep it real here. My initial reaction to the PlayStation 5 was interesting because a few weeks before that they showed off the Unreal Engine. That the female hero and running, and you saw the rocks falling, and I was like just blown away. I'm like, there is next generation right there. So I had that in my head, right?
Yeah.
And then when I went into the PlayStation 5 reveal and stuff, I was just like, man, where was that gameplay?
Yeah.
Like, I built it up so much in my head, and I was looking at the games going, these are really cool, but they only seem like a little bit better than the PlayStation 4. They weren't what I was imagining that Unreal Engine would be showing. So from that standpoint, as you're watching it, you're a little bit let down. You have to go back again and watch it and go, oh, wow, look at how cool those visual effects are and this and that. But I did see a lot of the same type of gameplay, right? There was first-person shooters. There was, kind of the platformy thing. But there was that one epic game that was like underwater, like the cartoony. What was it called?
I'm trying to remember that.
Which one was that?
You know the one I'm talking about?
The underwater one.
It was Horizon.
I can't remember.
Was it Horizon? No.
It had to be. That was the most.
Well, Horizon's
it's
beautiful.
Horizon. No.
This was an indie game,
Oh,
a
yes.
smaller studio.
Oh, what the hell?
It was so awesome. And
Yeah.
that was the one where I looked at and go, now, wow, that is really special and different from an art style perspective. Like that was the one, probably my favorite one. But I mean, everything
I
looked.
like the cat one was pretty
Yeah.
cool. The
Oh,
cat in the
the
future.
cat in the city.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah, that
robots.
was kinda interesting as well. That was very unique, right? And so
Yeah.
that's what the thing was. I was looking for like super unique experiences, but I got a lot of the same, like, oh wow, here's a really amazing first-person shooter, and here's another really amazing first-person shooter, and here's a cinematic of a basketball game.
You got Bugsnax too. That's
But look at the sweat.
And
It's
Bugsnax.
amazing. The sweat was so realistic and the eyes were so cool. So we saw a lot of cinematics and the gameplay that was shown. And again, this was me personally. I love PlayStation, right? I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I'll admit it. But yeah, I was a little let down because I was expecting a whole bunch of stuff like we saw a week earlier or whatever with the Unreal Engine. So, but you look back now at it and you go, okay, it is what it is. What
Well,
about
those
you,
are
Vic?
targets. I mean, I think the Epic stuff was incredible, but it's a target. It's like, this is where people will get to. You know what it's like when you know what it's like firsthand now. You're launching your own machine, but
Right.
everything, it's like a race to the finish line.
Yeah.
And generally, I mean, look what's happened with Halo. They pushed it back because of
Pushed
the
it
feedback. And it's so hard to launch a system and really killer software for a bunch of reasons. And one of the main ones is that people don't know what the install base is going to be like right out of the gate. And
Right.
so there's a lot of push-pull on the development side. And generally, most consoles launch with maybe one or two like killer games, and then there's a lot of filler type stuff that we tend to forget about when we think back on a console's lifespan. PlayStation 4 had a tremendous launch, mostly based on the price of the system and how it compared to and contrasted with the Xbox One. But I can't recall too many of the launch games for PlayStation 4 being my favorite ones. What I felt was really interesting, though, with PlayStation 4 was the strength of Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. Visually, those are targets that feel next gen, and they're in this gen,
Right.
especially if you're on PlayStation 4 Pro. And it's fascinating that it's almost like they are promising to beat that with their next stuff. So Sony, I think, had a very strong presentation with stuff like Spider-Man, the Miles Morales game. That's the thing I'm so fired up for
Hell yeah.
PlayStation
That's been
5.
crazy.
But leading into that with Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, can you guys believe how fast Ghost of Tsushima loads for such a massive open world game? You can load into levels and fast travel so quickly. which I keep hearing is what next gen is really going to be about.
Right. Yeah,
Everybody
it's going to be
using
a quick load
SSDs.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I was actually pretty impressed with the amount of color in the PlayStation 5 launch, especially as we're discussing family-friendly stuff, contrasted to the Xbox stuff. Except for their last reveal where they showed off Fable and a few other more colorful games. The first Xbox Series X was just so dark and so dreary and gloomy. And not only do we not, we need a kind of a break from that because of the world today, but I feel like it's so narrow cast to kind of think of gaming as just this hardcore, heavy violent stuff. And I think PlayStation did a pretty good job at kind of broadening that a little bit, But yeah, very, very strange year.
I miss all the Brown games.
Well, it was funny going into the Amico special event that we had last week. People were asking me about it beforehand, and I said, oh, what are you going to show? Are you going to show Earthworm Jim? Are you going to show this? You're going to show that? And I said, well, I can't tell you any of that stuff, but I'll tell you what we're not going to show. We won't be showing cinematics and really expensive rendered logos, up close rendered logos. I said, those are two things we can't afford and we won't be showing. So, and everyone's kind of like, oh, good. But yeah.
What I think was the strongest thing in the Amico lineup? It just a passionate, very intelligent, very savvy developer with the Bit Trip team talking about the new Breakout and saying that they loved it and saying that they loved the technology on the Amico, and it just all clicked fully into place. The opening that you guys have in the marketplace and what a developer sees out of that, and an established brand that's very easy to convey to people. It just was like, poof, you can point at that and go, that is why this opportunity exists out there. And to see that excitement to build on the system, that was inspiring. I thought that was really cool.
That's really what our main goal was. Our main goal was to, okay, here's some games, here's some announcements, here's some awesome retailers, here's our team. It's not just me in a garage with my Erector set, or whatever. Like, we have these incredible people. But really, the main goal of that entire thing from Intellivision's perspective was, okay, Tommy's been talking about it for 3 years now. Great. But let's show all of the incredible people from around the world who are just as excited and just as passionate as he is. And that was really the whole theme for us, was to show that it's not just me who's excited, but it's all of these amazing folks around the world who are generally excited about it. And yeah, the Alex from Bit Trip was just great. He was just so natural and so, and of course our old cohort from Electric Playground, Scott Barrett, who's the guy you saw doing a Bomb Squad game, and he put that really funny video together. He was the director of the first couple seasons of Electric Playground, cameraman, director, so it was great to see him. But yeah, that was really the whole thing of our event. Because again, we're not Microsoft, we're not Nintendo, we're not Sony. We know that. I recognize that. I'm not here drinking my own Kool-Aid. We're not even trying to compete with what they're doing. So we wanted to show more about the people and the passion. Because we're not going to wow people out of their chairs with lifelike sweat and things like that. We're about the fun, the simplicity, and we wanted to show that through the people. And hey, they were really excited about the controller too. So it was a different style event. Now that that's out of the way, though, our next videos will focus more on gameplay and fun and the controller and things like that. So it's a stepping process for us,
Fantastic.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm looking at the screen and I feel like I'm off center, but I don't know which way to go, so I am in center.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Now you're good.
Yeah, for a second you were
way?
off, and then I'm like, he moved back right in the middle. That's perfect.
So I should be here. Okay.
And,
All
and
right,
now,
cool.
now Tommy's a little bit off.
Yeah,
No, the other way, Tommy. The other way, Tommy.
They gave us this much room to breathe. buddy.
Exactly.
It's like
Ask Chad how everything sounds and everything. Just
Yeah, in the chat, is everything the volume sound
Yeah.
good and everything?
If it sounds good, give us a Deej.
Two at a time. Good day.
So you guys, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So Vic, these
It looks
guys,
like I'm kissing Tommy, right? Mm.
these guys, these wouldn't be the first one.
Oh, hey,
We shared a hot tub in Vegas together. let me
Yes,
tell
we
you.
did.
A bubble bath, no less.
Yeah. Yeah.
True
yeah.
story.
Highlight of my career.
He puts that on his resume. Shared a bubble bath in Vegas on camera.
That is amazing. That's awesome.
But no, the funny thing was about that is there's so many times, like one of my objectives going in when we would record these shows, first of all, we never had scripts. And we wouldn't talk about the games we were going to review. We wouldn't talk about them, because we had to we'd spend like a half hour or an hour in a car ride together, to get to the locations where we're shooting. We kind of always had this, rule where it's like, let's not talk about the games at all because we were natural, on camera. That was always our big thing was, we wanted. Now we knew that, we would pick games that we kind of knew like, oh, Vic's going to love this one. I'm going to hate it. We're both going to hate this one. We're both going to love this one. Like we kind of over the years, we kind of started to understand. Sometimes we surprised each other, but for the most part, we would pick games that we knew because if we had a show where we would just agree with everything, well, it's cool, but it's not as entertaining when we could kind of. But one of my big goals, and this goes to the douche, is one of my goals in my head was always like, because it made for great TV, was, look, Vic's the polite Canadian, and he played that up, and I was the loudmouth East Coast Italian, and I played that up, right? And so part of that was, if I can get Vic to feel uncomfortable on camera, I felt that was a great.
And every goddamn episode. It was
I felt because it was real too. Because like Vic gets a little embarrassed if I were to say something.
I'm where the buck stops, man. So if like you're saying something and there's people walking by and they're horrified, or like we're shooting in a store, or the network sees a rough guy, like I'm the guy. What is your co-host saying? I'm the guy they call. So that's
right.
That was in my head.
Well, I got to say too. I mean, a lot of the most funny stuff that we did, a lot of it never made it to air because of either the foul language or just cut to time. But and our graphics guys, Tavis and our editor, I mean, they were so amazing because they had to take because me and Vic are talkers, let me tell you, right?
Yeah.
And
we get the polite note. When you guys are out, if you guys don't mind just being a little shorter on the shoot, and if you could not talk over each other the whole time, so our editors can edit every time we shoot. It was the same thing.
I mean, we would come back from a shoot and have like 45 minutes worth of whatever game, and they had to cut that to 2.5, 3 minutes.
Wow.
Is there any extra footage of this stuff, of the stuff that was never aired? I would love to. To hear this stuff.
Can we release this?
We did blooper
every year. The
specials.
blooper.
Yeah, we would do something, and also when we did staff parties, we would cut a lot of that stuff together, and every once in a while that would make it to air. I have the archive. I have the not only the episodic archive, but also all of the raw footage that we shot, all of the interviews. We've got rid of a lot of the gameplay footage that we recorded over the years, because now you can record it at a much higher resolution.
Right?
Yeah, but we have all or at least most of all the raw interviews and the raw out in the field reviews.
In fact, I was going to say, in fact, since I've become CEO of Intellivision, family-friendly gaming, Vic has been blackmailing me. I have to pay him about $10,000 a month at this point.
That sounds like a good business.
That's a good deal, right
Oh,
there.
that sounds
Hell
that's
yeah.
great.
That's a smart business. That's a great plan.
And some damn Intellivision shirts, and then we're good. I won't reveal the footage. I'm trying to find the right way to reveal the footage. I've posted some of the content on the YouTube channel, but it's a lot of work. It's a tremendous amount of work
to even cut the raw footage to get it. Like I'll give you an example, Vic. One of the ones that I have personally, and I put it up on YouTube, and I don't know if it ever has really come out, mine's like from a VHS copy that you sent me, but like really great one, for example. Remember when we interviewed Douglas Adams, the creator of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? And in the show, it was like a 30-second clip, right? But there's this amazing 5-minute interview of me and Douglas Adams, who's now passed away, deceased, unfortunately, one of my favorite authors, modern authors of all time. And it was so funny, and it was a back and forth, and we were reciting Vogon poetry to each other. And so there's a perfect example. Of course, the other one I remember, Don King.
Yeah, that one was...
Whoa!
That
was one of my favorites.
Was the greatest interview ever, but the whole cut of it is hysterical. And Vic, that one you don't
ton
cut.
of it too. Yeah, I know.
That one you don't even need to cut. You could just air that, throw that on YouTube, and people would just hysterical laugh about it.
And dude, I have to be honest. Like, I love this. It's almost like YouTube has become talk radio around video games. It's like people just put live cameras up, and everybody's in front of microphones and stuff.
Right.
And the act and the art of visiting creative people and communicating with them, which is what EP's heart and soul was, whether it was in a studio or at an event or whatever, that's not being done very much at all. And I feel like it's a real crying shame, because there's all of these creators that have been doing things for a long time. Like I just had Eugene Jarvis on my podcast last week, and that was just like a dream for me. He was just so incredible, and he's the guy that created Robotron and Defender. And he's like literally one of the figureheads of the roots of the whole video game industry, not just the arcade industry, but and he oversaw so much incredible development at Midway when they were making NFL Blitz and NBA Jam and Mortal Kombat. Legend. Wow. And I just feel like there's so many of these people, and Tommy's working with a bunch of them now at Intellivision, that we just don't connect with, and it's not just the old timers, it's also the scrappy indies out there that are trying to create cool stuff, and it's so disrespectful, I find, to just be just write all that stuff off and just get pissed off about a feature set or your expectations on a game, and just constantly just creating this I don't know. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of hate that you guys all know that hits social media, but hits
wait,
YouTube.
Are you saying that everyone doesn't like Intellivision?
That's a corner of it. But like even the hate directed towards EA or 2K, and certainly there's a lot of reasons why people should be upset about things. And I'm not a fan of free to play stuff. I'm not a fan of microtransactions. I don't even like games that don't have an ending. Like I like to go in and play for a while and then finish it and then move on to something new. But I get that there's lots of people that dig all that stuff. But just the vitriol and the hatred that goes at these in the direction of oftentimes developers who are trying to create art, even within the confines of all of these different rules. They're really just trying to entertain you. And I know a lot of these people because I've had the luxury of being able to go to these studios and meet these people. And certainly the business has changed over the years, but the core of it is people that are really fired up about video games and want to put their art out there. And so, it drives me crazy that there isn't more love and respect paid to those people that try to entertain us out there, you know. And when you talk about these classic interviews, it brings it all up for me, because I feel very strongly that still needs to be happening today. And I feel like if we're interviewing these
more than
awesome
ever
people, yeah, we're inspiring. Like, I feel like YouTube and Twitch are inspiring people to be streamers, which is fine. But what are they going to stream if we're not inspiring people to make games? And how do we inspire people to make games if we don't meet them, if we don't talk to them, if we don't, you know, give them a platform so that they're not just, you know, when I started EP, the whole thing, and Tommy and I were talking about this all the time back then, it's like, you have this preconception that somebody pulls a lever and a game pops out in a box. And then you go to the store and you buy that and you play. And it's like, no, people bled for that, and they stayed up all night and they had crazy dreams, and that's the story. That's what's cool about video games, is people like really work their butts off to try to, you know, do something different, you know. And
that's get back to the Amico thing too. Our event, that's what we were trying to showcase, right? That was the big goal was, you know what, let's showcase these awesome developers. You know, they let them you know, tell their story about why they love the console or what they're making in their game and what's different about it and why they're doing a unique approach. Yeah, exactly. I wish there were a lot more of that, as opposed to just folks giving their opinions on. But you know what it is too, it's clickbait, right? Because people like the controversy, and they like
it's talk radio.
You know, they like the confrontation. Unfortunately, it sells. But I will say this. If you look on the most popular YouTube channels, I'm talking about people with 10 million plus subscribers, and their moms and their kids and their, you know, whatever, tech people or whatever, what you'll notice about the most popular ones is that they are positive and they are happy and informative and well thought out things. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff on the bottom and a lot of stuff trying to get to the top that's, you know, oh, how can we shock people? But I think the lesson learned is, if you look at all the best, you'll see that they are the sweetest and the kindest and the funniest and the happiest and the positive people, which is really good. You know, that's
you know what else though? Like, the internet can't even accept that somebody can like something that they don't. Like, you'll see us, okay, we have Amico shirts on, and they'll be the first to say, oh, you guys are selling out your shirts for Amico.
Yeah, exactly.
And blah, blah, blah. But we'll be the ones who, like, okay, don't you understand that we like the system? It's possible that someone can like the system and want to have it. Like, I've purchased one already, so like, I'm waiting. Like, I want to play this, and we are a co-op. Like,
our channel is
co-op.
co-op channel.
So
very
like,
co-op.
who wants to play co-op games? There's people who want to play together in the same household still.
Shocking. Crazy.
But people don't. But they don't want to listen though, and they say, okay, it's not for me. Now it's for nobody.
That green cup?
What was that, Tommy?
What do you guys got in that green cup?
Don't you worry about it. It's champagne.
We got some champagne.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. Now, it looks like St. Patrick's Day over there. I mean, big chocolate. Are you Irish? You're half
I mean, maybe 1/16.
That counts. That counts.
It does count.
Cheers.
It does count.
To the Tommy and Victor's reunion.
Yes.
And to the chat. And to the chat.
And to the chat.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet.
Because we are in the uncut
I have
section.
my AirPod case.
Go back down your pants, Vic. Go ahead. Do it.
This is the uncut section of the podcast. So now we get our drinks in us, and then we got some questions.
Yeah. But one thing I wanted to comment
Let's
right
do it.
quick is that what you guys are talking about, like how, you know, internet is something like a cesspool with its negativity. I think when anyone, especially in the video game business, console business, people are very, very vicious. They're in their own camps, you know, Microsoft this, Sony this. And remember when, you know, you had the Wii U, it bombed, you know, and Nintendo first unveiled the Switch. There were a lot of haters for the Switch when it was first unveiled.
Dude, wait, hold on. The Wii, when the Wii was a couple months before the Wii came out, everybody hated it. Nintendo gets the worst of it, right? And then the Wii U, of course, came out and did flop, but Yeah, you're exactly right. Remember the Switch? Everyone was like, "Oh,
Like they should
Nintendo's
go
done.
get out of
for
here.
They're done.
this.
It's over.
Just be a publisher." They blah 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 blah. You know, I mean, it's so crazy that and again, we're feeling it now with Intellivision, right? The you know, a lot of the elitist hardcore gamers are like, this is stupid. No one wants this. You know, what a scam. Blah blah blah. What a dumb idea.
I'm thinking of the
guys
irony,
have
man.
a great idea when
like
that
20 million
happened.
Tommies. 20 million Tommies.
Burner accounts. Tommy's got burner
You
accounts.
pay for your own medicine. All the games you didn't like.
That's right.
What's he doing behind the
I think
scenes?
this announcement right now. We are retro reimagining High Heat Baseball 2003. We're doing it again.
I was going to ask you about that.
The sons and daughters of the parents that liked High Heat Baseball and hated your review. They all made YouTube comments.
That's a classic review.
It's all come back to roost, hasn't it, Vic? My Super Smash Brother review, they're all getting it back. 20 years later.
Incredible. It's
So
incredible.
on that note, though, are there any reviews that?
Passionate medium.
Oh, I
and
like
that,
Go ahead.
What was that, Victor?
no, it's a passionate medium, and I think that's okay. I think people just need to have perspective.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, people are so passionate, and it means something to them. So again, even like, you know, again, let's say, you know, Intellivision hardcore haters, we're giving them something. We're giving them entertainment. You know, their days revolve around watching our stuff so that they can comment negatively on it. So in some regard, we're giving them entertainment. We're giving them, you know, their pleasure as well, just from a different perspective. So look, the worst thing in the world is if talking about it.
That's true.
That's a very important point.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we're in a day and age where the PlayStation 5 and, you know, the Series X, the Microsoft, those are even getting hate. So there's nothing safe right now online. Like, everything.
No, I'm actually glad you brought that up because I was in every single chat during the live stream for
Don't
the.
do that.
No, just because I just want to see. It's sometimes very fascinating to me about the negativity. It's always fascinating to me.
Boring.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's. I was in the State of Play chat. I was in the Xbox reveal. I was in the Amico one. I was in the Nintendo the origami. When they even said we're going to showcase Paper Mario origami. That's all we're showing. People were in there. Where's the Smash Brothers reveal? This is boring. Do you not read? Like, come on.
There could have been a Paper Mario Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's yo, and you have the developers that were talking about Paper Mario. They're like, you know, this is what you could do, and this, and that. And I'm watching it. I'm not interested in Paper Mario, but I want to watch it. I was like, all right, let me see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
The hate was so toxic. I'm like, this is insane. So it's
But-
like all three of those companies are like, oh, no one likes anything apparently. No one likes anything.
The thing is, though, that
But you
group
know
is
the
only.
thing too, you always got to remember though, is that the negative folks are always the squawkiest ones, right? Most normal people don't leave comments.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, period.
You know, so the overwhelming majority of people are positive. It's just that the negative ones,
Yeah.
you know, they're the ones the most vocal.
short-lived.
200 people
I have a
online.
comment. I'm looking at. I have a comment on this stream right now. I feel like you guys have punched in on me, and I'm just my space is shrinking. Can you guys back me up?
Oh,
I don't even know if I'm on camera
Yeah, I was
or-
trying to do that live.
Is this a good time to bring up?
Nah, zoom in,
the
zoom
size of
in.
Victor's noggin.
Oh no, bad time.
That's hilarious.
Hey,
I
you
feel like
got-
I
was
can't move without
alone.
being off. Like, is
I'm
this
sorry,
working?
Vic. Hold on.
Is this working?
Now you're gone.
Now you're
How's
gone.
that? Is that working?
The man has a gargantuan noggin.
How's
So while that's
How's
getting
that?
fixed,
Is
let's
that
ask a
working?
question from the chat.
But I was gonna say though,
Okay.
I was gonna say, like 100 to 200 people in a chat online can look like the world. So it's not really a representative of how much hate is actually happening. It just seems like there's so much.
Those are the ones who are talking.
Yeah, because they're the ones that are leaving the comments.
I like to say, like even on our Amico event from last week, there's 45, 50,000 views, somewhere around there, but there's only 250 dislikes.
Yeah.
So that is 1/2 of 1% of the people who viewed it disliked it. So that's the real numbers.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's real stuff.
No, in the Amico chat, there was a lot of positive people at the beginning. They were like, "Oh, I'm excited for this," blah blah blah. And I was like, "Let me get my positive comment in there before all the people pop in. All the haters just pop in and start saying some stuff." And then, of course, they were like, some people were in there. Oh, boring. It's almost to the point.
People
It's like,
talk
what do you
boring.
want to see? What do you personally want to see? That one hater.
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, Earthworm Jim. Okay, there goes Earthworm Jim. There goes a teaser. Oh, there's no game. There's not enough gameplay. That's because games got to get made. It takes time to make these games.
Even if you give them what they want,
People
they'll
thought
find
that
something
was
to complain about.
cinematic,
Exactly.
and that was actually the gameplay. That's in engine. That was playing on the system, and it was all hand-drawn animation, and they came in.
It looks beautiful.
Crazy.
It was more than what the Metroid Prime
Yeah, it looks
4
amazing.
was when that
Exactly.
was revealed. It was
That's what I
just-
keep comparing it to.
A logo.
Yep.
All right.
You know how that's
So I see a lot of questions folks are asking. What do me and Vic think about the G4 revival?
Yeah.